Welcome to the discussion. My guest today is Eric McGrane, a growth leader for the Defense Enterprise Services sector at GDIT. Eric, thanks for taking the time to join us.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let me set just a little bit of context for our discussion today. milCloud, that's what we're talking about, started 2013. It feels like just like yesterday it started. Version 2 kicked in around 2019. And as of, I think, last March when we looked into this last time, about 4,500 workloads, 89 different mission partners has been moved to milCloud 2.0. I'm sure it's probably more now, and you'll tell us about that. And now the move from, according to the Defense Information Systems Agency, is towards software as a service. SaaS is now the next thing. And so milCloud will continue to evolve, and we're going to get an update of where we're at. So Eric, why don't you lead us off? As I said, milCloud has really grown over the last several years. What's the latest? Give us an update.
So, inside of GDIT, we had a reorganization, and we really shaped our thought around milCloud 2 around collaboration. Our sector with milCloud 2.0 relies on Army, Air Force, Navy, and other sectors. So the first thing we did was reorganize in such a way so that I could communicate better with the rest of the GDIT Defense Business Unit, right? So that when I'm talking to a customer, I have those people that are inside of GDIT that our customers trust. That was a major thing that helped just internally. But really, I think the reason for the increased press lately is two things. We re-architected our cloud to a VMware solution. So when you look at DoD, 99.9% is virtualized on VMware. And so now we have a VMware IL5, soon to be IL6 cloud. And so it makes those migrations easier, and it's a very robust, hardy, good cloud. The second is the announcement to broker AWS services as well, right? We've all seen what's been going on in the news to get with JEDI and now JWCC. And so the demand for off-premise cloud is real, and it's there. And so from a contract perspective, having that option has brought a lot of other customers with interest for both on-prem and off-prem.
Let me start with that first piece, which is the idea of re-architected to VMware. What does that actually mean? So if I'm a DoD customer and you tell me, oh, we've re-architected to use VMware's cloud and virtualization, why do I care?
So our first architecture, if you will, was a KVM architecture.
You've already lost me once you said KVM. So anyways, we'll go ahead.
Okay. So the way that I would answer for a customer is VMware is native and known to what your current status is. So you're going from an on-prem VMware to cloud, and so the refactoring of applications, the migrations, all of the you're never going to get rid of all the complexities for going to cloud. But by having a VMware native architecture, we've removed a ton of those complexities to make it much easier to move to the cloud now.
That's the key. I think that's really important when you talk about the complexity, because I think everyone thinks moving to the cloud, well, I don't have my legacy apps aren't ready, or oh, now this application's been in a mainframe or been on some client server approach for 20 years. Now you want me to move it where, and is it ready to move it, and what's the lift, and can I just leave it where it's at? So walk me through a little bit about understanding when someone has to move, maybe an example, an anecdote, and putting you on the spot here a little bit, where a customer went from on-prem or their current setup to milCloud 2. How easy was it? Matter of weeks, days, months?
So everybody's situation is different. I think one of the examples we use frequently was DCMA. Agency had to close down a data center in 90 days, and we were able to move all their workloads, close that data center, and have it done in 90 days. Right? It was a hard work on both sides. It was a true partnership. So that was done. Another example I use is we have a very large Army customer. And I think that this example highlights the benefit of both milCloud 2.0, the cloud, and milCloud 2.0, the contract. This particular Army user has about 300 applications, and they said, we've got some stuff that we want on-prem. It's got personally identifiable information, it's got health information, it's got logistics data. We want that on-prem. That's how we see it. But we have about 100 other applications that are child and youth services base sign-up. We could put that into AWS, right? And so for that particular customer, when you rationalize where the security levels are and what they want public and what they want with more security, we have a contract that now allows that customer to come to us for one-stop shopping.
And I think that's one of the big selling points of milCloud over the years has been that one-stop shopping. You don't need to issue a new task order. You don't need to go through the contract. You can just, we'll acronym people to death here a little bit, MIPR the money over and get it going. And I think that's also important now because you brought the IL5 and moved to IL6. Obviously, impact level 5, impact level 6, we're talking about cybersecurity. What's that going to mean for the DoD and the customers that you're serving?
So I see a real demand for IL6, right? IL5, for official use only, unclassified. I see a demand for both on-prem and off-prem. But when it gets to IL6 and SIPR, or secret cloud, if you will, there's a tremendous amount of demand there for it, and we're very excited to have that for our customers.
And I remember talking with the folks at DISA about 6 or 8 months ago. One of the big moves was the SIPRnet, getting access, I guess, for the milCloud to SIPRnet or some sort of integration. I think if I remember correctly, it was supposed to happen in June 2021. Here we are, obviously much past June. Did it happen? Where are we at with that integration? Can you give me a sense of just the status?
So the status is we're like right at the finish line. COVID affected everything across DoD. So when you're talking about doing SIPR cloud, right, IL6, you're talking about assessments, pen tests, people coming to visit site locations, and that got jammed up with COVID. So we're past that. We still have some COVID hiccups, right, because you have teams that need to travel, but we're right at the finish line.
All right, so hopefully later this fall, maybe early winter, then that'll be available. And once that's available, what does that mean? Again, I'll ask for your customers, because you said you had a lot of demand for IL5, IL6. It means they can now do the secret type level work.
Correct.
Go ahead.
So once we have IL6, customers can start migrating, right? I see a huge demand out at US Stratcom, for example. I know milCloud 1, that is being turned off and migrating to milCloud 2. There's a lot of SIPR workloads there. So we see, once we have that on contract, we can start rolling those workloads into milCloud 2.0 for hosting. And like you said, with the MIPR, the nice part about our contract is there's no waiting in line. There's no negotiating a task order, negotiating a price. It's all right there on the portal. The price is what the price is. You can do it. I mean, for the amount of selling we do, we still have customers that hit the portal and buy their cloud on their own, and it's spun up in 24 hours, right? So, that speed of the MIPR, right, the ability to just transfer money quickly has been a major selling point for the contract.
I want to talk about the other piece of this that you mentioned, which is the connection to AWS. I imagine there's connections to other commercial clouds in the offing as well. But what is, again, when you talk about complexity, what does that mean for a user? Okay, now if I want to use AWS, I can go through milCloud 2.0's platform, or what does it mean?
So for our customers, I mean, let's face it, it's a hybrid cloud world. Customers have some on-prem, they've got some mainframe that'll probably stay put, they've got Azure, AWS, they've got all kinds of cloud needs. And so what we are for customers is like you said earlier, that one-stop shop, right? So if a customer needs some AWS, they can get some AWS. If they want some on-prem, they can do that. Yes, we're in negotiations to add other off-premise clouds, right? So we're GDIT. We exist to support our DoD customers, right? And so whatever our DoD customer wants, we want to provide it. And by having the marketplace that we've got inside of our portal, we're not an AWS only marketplace or an Azure only marketplace. We're providing things like Oracle database for cloud and other things that we know our customers need, because we're truly agnostic and we care about what the DoD needs.
Let me try to put a finer point on it, though. Again, if I'm a DoD customer who says, okay, I want to use AWS or Oracle or whomever, I go through the milCloud 2.0 platform, I go through your effort, and what does that mean for me? We talked complexity earlier, reducing complexity. How does that reduce the complexity?
Right, so imagine you hit this portal and you've got chiclets right there. You've got on-prem or AWS, and then later there'll be other chiclets. And you click the cloud you want, and then you can just go through. The complexity is minimized by having all of the information you need at the price you need right there so that you can do it in one sitting. There's no separate negotiations. It all comes through that portal.